All right, so Sing, what you got? You gonna break this tie? What we got right now? Or who you thinking?
All right. Well, first thing, I want to give a shout out to one of my best friends, Freddie P. He's the biggest Sean Price fan on the planet. And let me just say something real quick. Me and Freddie P, funny enough, we were going to bartending school back in the day in Northeast Philadelphia, and we were both like not really feeling it. So like we would kill time by creating a hip hop bracket. And this was like 10 years ago we started making this shit. So I almost wish he was part of the selection committee. I know he's kind of tied up with his daughter. He's at work. He's got a lot of... But, he was one of the pioneers of this shit. So I want to give him a shout out.
Word.
And on that note, my vote goes for Sean P.
On your head, bastards.
I love Big Pun. Just like what was just said, he's lyrically phenomenal. No doubt about that. And if you're going on just lyrical skill alone, I would probably go with Pun. And honestly, this is probably one of the matchups where what I vote is not going to be what comes out on the official rapper bracket, because looking at the polls, it looks like Big Pun's going to advance to round 2. That being said, for me, Sean Price is one of those rare MCs that can make me nod my head to his flow and also laugh like several times in one verse. He just has funny ass shit in his lyrics, and I really love that about Sean P. And he gets my vote for this.
Lucky Ball is probably Leeway did the best album.
Yo, bitch Harvey, the Swiss Army knife in my hand. Know this shit corny, but it can end the life of your fam. Niggas know Sean nice with their hands. Watch me punch up your face, dig in your pockets, leave you right where you stand. Got a dumb bitch that live in Japan. Black belt, suck dick, chop bricks with a hand. Arigato, Sean Price slick like El Gato.
Alright, so we're gonna conclude the 7-10 matchups. We got Prodigy from Mobb Deep going against Master Ace. I think I think Prodigy's got this one wrapped up. Fair to say. For me, I was an advocate for having Master Ace on here, just because of like his early work with the Juice Crew. Even
his early solo albums,
even his resurgence in '99 with Master Ace really helped usher the 90s underground.
Yeah, definitely did.
When we were in high school, and you had this whole element where the 80s MCs had kind of like died off, and the Diddy Shiny Suit era was popping off in 97, 98, and you had a lot of people like me and Sean were kids in the middle of this, and Zoe as well. And you had a lot of people that were like, well, like, we don't like the radio, but we don't know, like, but we're not old enough to have Rakim records. Mm-hmm. And I think like Master Ace was one of those artists who said, I'm going to like create a different space in hip hop where you don't have to choose. Mm-hmm. Like, you can kind of just fit in this world. And I think he created that with Disposable Arts and so forth and so on. And he really expanded like a 20-year career. Yeah. So I'm really glad that Master Ace is
playing me right now. Just playing me.
What'd you say, Sing?
Sorry to interrupt.
Nah, go ahead.
I said you're swaying me right now. It's a strong argument for Master Ace right here.
Yo, I mean, 20-year career, man. I say all this to say I chose Prodigy. but I'm not mad at Master Ace like advancing in his first round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely had Prodigy advancing.
I want to say, first of all, like, battle rap is concerned, like, I think probably my favorite, like, diss track ever is when Master Ace dissed the High and Mighty crew on Acknowledge. I think that's on Disposable Arts, right, BC?
Yup. You
know the track I'm talking about?
Is that? Yup.
Oh, my Lord. He absolutely annihilated them. I mean, the beat is crazy. He just he takes them to fucking school. And Master Ace, you put it really well. I mean, he really Resurgence, like Long Hot Summer is really underrated record.
Great album.
Disposable Arts is dope, and that's not even talking about all the early shit. So this one was one of the hardest for me personally. I absolutely think Master Ace belongs in the field, no question. I think he was probably seated just around right at 10. He got a really tough matchup with Prodigy. I mean, I would have Master Ace above. I would have Master Ace beating a lot of other MCs in this bracket, but with Prodigy, I can't do it. Mobb Deep is one of my favorite groups ever, and The Infamous is one of my favorite records ever. Shook Ones Part 2 is one of my favorite songs ever. His verse on Shook Ones Part 2 might be my favorite verse in the history of hip hop, possibly. So I can't eliminate him in the first round. Can't do that.
Right.
Yeah, I took Prodigy. I know one staple of me growing up, I had the HNIC album. I don't even know how I got it. Like it was hard for me to get albums back then. Like that was unedited. But I got that and it turned me on, and I'm like, I'm supposed to hate Prodigy because of Jay-Z, because Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. But Prodigy held his own, and I don't necessarily know enough about Master Ace. I have heard previous tracks, but not enough for me to say. Yeah, I'm not enough for me to put him against Prodigy and then choose him over Prodigy. But,
So you last up with that?
I mean, I still get Prodigy, Master Ace. I mean, when you look at his career as far as who he influenced, who brought to the table, especially Eminem. But I had to go with Prodigy. I mean, Shook Ones Part 2, and just his body of work. HNIC, when that dropped, definitely influenced me heavily, when it came out. So I definitely went with P on this one.
Yeah, P is,
even with the Optimist joints, Albert Einstein, Return to the Map, it's a lot of great, material. Definitely sad that he went so early,
Right. Yeah. But Prodigy,
It's crazy
Go ahead, bro.
It's crazy on the side note, real quick. Like, how many MCs on this bracket are deceased?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I haven't counted yet, but how many? I mean, is it double? I think it's double digits. We have like 10 MCs that are dead.
We got at least 10, at least 10.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned it because I remember me and Brandon, we went to see Scarface maybe about 2 years ago. And, we got there late and he was on his last song. And it kind of hit me like, yo, man, like, our idols are getting old.
Yeah.
They're not immortals, And I was happy I saw, Mobb Deep. I mean, I saw numerous times. But, I saw, the last time I saw, Prodigy Live was when they were on the Hell on Earth 20th anniversary tour. Brandon at the time was going to go, and he's like, I can't make it. And we were all like, yo, we'll see him on the flip side type deal. Same thing with Sean Price when he was in Philly. I'm like, wow, this is a weeknight. I'll see him on the flip side. Next thing you know, both of them are gone. Right. And it's like, so when I see some of these shows now, like when Scarface was here in November, I'm like, he might not be alive next year.
Right.
I got it. Like, if I have to call out for work or be late, then so be it. Like, my idols, my heroes might not be alive next tomorrow. And as we get older, that's what the reality is going to be. So I hadn't seen Cube live. I haven't seen Cube live. That's still on my bucket list. But I'm still hurt to this day. I never saw Tribe live. Fife's home.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to go to our 8-9 seeds, and we got a surprising, in my opinion, we got an 8 and 9 Phife Dawg from Tribe Called Quest going up against Buckshot BCC. I personally chose Buckshot as he was the lead of his group and gave us classics. But Phife Dawg is washing this one. Phife God has him. I don't know, saying on Facebook it's like no contest. Phife is just annihilating right now.
I noticed that. This is one of the hardest matchups for me of the entire first round.
Two of your guys.
Because I respect Buckshot so much. Black Moon, Enter the Stage, all the shit that he did for Boot Camp Click, Up Down. I mean, it's interesting too. I didn't even think about it, so I'm thinking now. But like, they're both, you know, Fife says the 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business. Here, Buckshot ain't tall either, man. These are two short cats, right?
Right.
The short nigga battles.
Yeah.
The point comes.
Yo, is this do we okay?
Short
So
brotherhood.
the short brotherhood. So yeah, Fife has got this one at 61, and Buckshot is at 39. We got 4 days. 4 days to vote, guys. Internets, put in your vote. Before Elijah and Zoe sound off on this one, it's also I guess in my head, Fight Dog to me has more memorable verses than Buckshot, and I think that's where this kind of is going, because it's like Buckshot is obviously the lead of his group, you know, of Black Moon Boot Camp. Fife is was the 1-2 man, you know, in his group. But I think that like Fife has more memories within the fans, within the people, and I think that's what's taking him past this first round. And I think he's going up against Biggie the next round. So it's the battle of the dead. You know what I'm saying? But I think Fife, the memories people have, memorable moments.
That's what it kind of came to me.
Yeah.
It was the memorable moments, because like you say, if we're just looking at paper, like you talking about the leader versus somebody who was maybe the number 2 man. In a sense, but like I remember more Fight Dog one-liners and you know, quotes than Buckshot. And I love Buckshot,
Right.
You know, but I gave the slight edge to Fight just because what kind of struck me, and I know we had to look at everything all considered, you know, across the board. But even when I did that, I'm like, you know, I'm thinking about Tribe versus now Boot Camp. You know what I mean? And I was more influenced by Tribe, you know, growing up.
Right.
Versus Boot Camp. So my bias kind of kicked in there, and then when I kind of came to nitty gritty, like I gave like, but either way, I'm like, on paper, Buckshot should win the battle. On paper, Buckshot should win the battle. But like I said, as far as what kind of type of emotion that provokes you, I had to get the fight personally. You know.
Yeah, I went Buck, but you went Fife.
No, I went Buck. I went Buck only because, like, listen, I used to work at a job, and the old head put me on Boot Camp Click, and they put me on Smith and Wesson and all of them. And then I heard Buckshot Shorty, and I'm like, I heard this song, and I'm like, yo, he's killing this shit. And I'm like, he harmonizing, he's flowing back. Yeah, he's bringing it back. Then right, it's like, I said, yo, listen, man. I got mad respect for Fife Dog, but I'm like, it's something about, you know, somebody that can bring it right back. If you flow, you harmonizing, you rapping, and you bring it right back to harmonizing, and then right back to rap, and then it's yeah.
I'm similar to Kendrick.
Yeah,
I can never put them two, but I just realized that connection.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Saying you can finish us off on this one, man.
Yeah, you know, all the props I just gave to Buckshot are, you know, I stand by those. I love Buckshot. This is for me one of the toughest matches of the first round. I think I said that like 5 times already, but still. Fife is one of my favorite MCs of all time. Buckshot is probably in my top 10 to 15 favorite MCs of all time also. But Fife is easily in my top 10, and the comment I made about Sean Price earlier, where he can make me bob my head and respect his flow and also make me laugh. I mean, Fife is one of the funnier MCs of all time. And another thing I love about Fife is his sports references, because I'm a sports head. I absolutely love basketball. I love football, and he was obsessed with sports. I mean, he had a regular occurrence on sports radio shows, and I think he had a sports podcast. You always see him rocking sports gear, from the North Carolina shit on the Low End Theory, you know, to that record, to, you know, you always see him rocking a jersey or this and that. So he, you know, Fife has a special place in my heart, and I had to go with him over Buckshot, even though it was really fucking tough. I had to go Fife.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, this was a tough one, bro. The 8-9s was real close.